In this video, I'm playing Strange Antiquities and talking softly to you until you fall asleep. It's a game about running a shop and identifying strange and mysterious objects and serving them to customers. But not everything is as it seems. If you're new here, I'm MadMorph, and this is my series where I play games and talk to you softly. This series is perfect for people who like to listen to gaming videos to go to sleep or to have them on in the background whilst doing other things. There'll be no loud reactions, overacting, screaming, just me, you, and some good games and vibes. You can find more like this on the channel, so please do like and subscribe for more, or check out my podcast Down to Sleep, where I read books to you softly. Yes, actual books like Alice in Wonderland, Pride and Prejudice, and on the Patreon you can get exclusive series like The Lord of the Rings, Twilight, Coraline, and more. Find out where to listen for free, and all of the links that you need for everything I do in the description below this video. And now, let's tuck you in. Take a nice deep breath for me, and let's get down to sleep with Strange Antiquities. As a thaumaturge's apprentice, there is a lot to learn. Every object must be treated with care, and it is important to identify the harmful from the harmless, the potent from the mild. It was only supposed to be a temporary arrangement when Eli left the shop. Strange Antiquities in my hands. None of us knew that by then the pendulum was already swinging with a terrible certainty that could not be stopped. The ravens were an omen, a circling unkindness of black wings and cheerless cries that seemed even then to signal the start of a rising dread. You know a group of crows is called a murder. What's a group of ravens called? Is it just a flock? Cat? Oh, there's a beautiful cat with, in its eyes, have got a heterochromemias. I've been called away to assist in an urgent matter in Raven class and must leave at once. I'm leaving the shop in your care with some reluctance, I might add, said Eli White. Make use of my reference materials. Here, take this. There's an index in the back that may be useful to you. If in doubt, study carefully. Remember, there are some powerful artifacts here. Under no circumstances should you seek entry to any locked doors, drawers, or cupboards. In fact, safest not to touch anything at all. I should be back in a few days. Farewell, Eli. So, we're in a shop. We've got a collection of shelves with different ornaments and artifacts, or you might even say strange antiquities upon them. We've been given a book by Eli White and told not to open any drawers or cupboards. You can move around the shop and see that some areas are locked, things caged behind perhaps the potent rather than the mild, and a cat and a plant sit upon our desk. Let's open the book. Strange Artifacts, A Guide to Occult Objects by T. Eskill. So we've got the contents, which I think is letting us know what each of these things are. So an ecumenical is a receptacle commonly featuring a memento mori that acts as an aid to recollection. A memory cannot reside in both the mind and the ecumenical at the same time, and it cannot be stored indefinitely. So I think people are going to come in to ask for things, and we must study our book, perhaps, to see what they need. But let's begin. The thaumaturge himself, Eli White, a collector and curator of powerful objects. That's what a thaumaturge is. Thaumaturge. Objects that to the untrained eye may appear dull and lifeless, but in the right hands and armed with the right knowledge can be a gateway to so much more. For Eli, the quest to unearth and understand each new object has been the driving force of his adult life. As owner of Strange Antiquities, Eli is a stern master. He knows firsthand what can happen if the right precautions are not taken. He doesn't tend to show much emotion, but he does have a more tender side. A side that is mostly reserved for his store's cat, Jupiter. The cat's name is Jupiter. Jupiter found Strange Antiquities, perhaps drawn to the curiosities within, and made it his home. Eli was more than happy to accommodate him, but he learned early on that Jupiter was his own master. His business is his own, but it largely consists of regular naps, terrorizing rodents, and midnight explorations of Undermere and beyond. What he does on his excursions is a mystery, but he seems to be well known among the town's residents, probably having a dinner at each house that he stops at. I think we're going to just slightly turn down the music so that we can keep the sound of the rain going. If it rains for the whole time, that would be beautiful. This is a wonderful, wonderful ambience for me to read and play a game through with you, so almost wish it was on a separate slider to the sound effects, but it's not. Let's go about there. And I believe we start by ringing the bell. Congratulations. Today is the day you meet the great Thomas Pope. That's me. I'm a man of two loves, fresh mountain air and a little white dog called Hamish. But I reserve some room for laughter among friends and shops with cats in them. If you would be so kind, I'm looking for a replacement for my hunter's boon. So we have, use right-click on an item to inspect. So we right-click, move the cursor over different things. So we can look at the color and composition. We can see that an item is made of clay. It's textured. Right. Let's go ahead and see if we have Hunter's Boon in our book of things. Hunter's Boon. I see. So this is where we're going to go from. A primitive item that grants the power of the predator, enhancing perception and agility. Made from trophies taken from slain beasts, with those from the deadliest predators being the most prized. Simple items without embellishment. So we're looking for something taken from a beast. So we examine our shop. Perhaps we have something that resembles a tooth. It is yellow-brown, yellow-white. Appears to be perhaps a claw. It gives me a sensation of power. So we've examined that. I'm wondering if this also looks like it could be taken from something. But it said they're very simple, and I honestly think it might be this item that looks like a claw hanging from a necklace. And that's about it, with no embellishment. So we take this and put it here and say, what do you think? Identified. A tiger's tooth, a trophy from a predator. On closer inspection, it gives a sensation of power. So we correctly identified the hunter's boon. When I was a kid, I thought the coolest thing you could do was have a shark tooth on a necklace. I think I was like an Australian surfer reborn, you know? In a past life. That was like the coolest thing to me. And I had one, but I'm pretty sure it was fake. And now we have book content, so it's unlocked a new item, the selenic totem. A new page of the book unlocked. You can add labels to items whilst inspecting them. So now that we know that this is a hunter's boon, we can write on a label, hunter's boony. There we go. We'll make it pink. And we can change the label size and even the icon that is on it, which is cute. But actually some of these make it harder to read. There you go. Hunter's Boon. So now when I look at it, I know that that's the Hunter's Boon. Every time I hit the bell, the cat like jumps and wakes up. I feel like that's you right now, but it's fine. Dark shadows hide dark deeds, or so my father used to say. Seems like the shadows have grown darker since he passed 2 winters gone. A creeping dark is set up in my house. I'm told a shadow hold will draw it out. So we shall look for a shadow hold. Perhaps I should turn down the volume every time I ring the bell, lest you act like a startled cat. Let's open our book and look for a shadow hold. A shadow hold, or an ossic vessel, is a container of any kind, sometimes a jar, or a bottle, or some sort of box. It can be used to contain an ossic spirit, the manifestation known as creeping dark, pulling it from the shadows like poison from a wound. They're decorated with an elaborate design called a shadow catcher. So we have a picture of a shadow catcher design, so we must look for something that looks like this, with a jar, a bottle, or some sort of box. Which immediately kind of looks like this. Alright, here has Dreamcatcher kind of vibes to it. It's made of bronze, with raised detailing. The heart feels lighter, almost as if the darkness was being drawn from it. So this is the only thing that looks like it could be, unless... Actually, I've just found a bottle which has that exact print and design on it. It must be this. A container of some kind, and the design on the bottle is the same as the sketch. You have identified the shadow hold. Shadow hold sounds like a series of books. We've unlocked the page for a sunbond. Let us label. I'm really enjoying this. I love Strange Horticulture. Honestly, this is the previous game that was about identifying plants, which I have a video of on the channel, and I always kind of thought about going back to that one, because I didn't finish it. It was from a live stream that I did. The video is a few hours long, and over the years, people keep finding that video and saying, please, can you finish this? And I have thought about going back to that one, so we'll see how this video does. And if you like me, if you enjoy this, let me know in a comment. Of course, like and subscribe for more. And let me know in a comment if you would like me to play Strange Horticulture, which is this, but about plants. And maybe in a future Fall Asleep, I'll go back to that and do it. There we go. This is the shadow hold. Labeled. What's with all these ravens flying about under me today? I can't remember ever seeing anything like it. Not a good day to be the sort who believes in dark omens. A letter for you. A letter from the postmaster. I open it. We discovered some papers in a hidden desk drawer in the boatyard last night. Mr. Jones almost threw them in the fire pit, but I asked to take a look at them first. That man does like to burn things. They look old. Maybe there's nothing of much use here, but I thought of you when I came across an entry on the shin. Charlie Weathers. So what was that? We were gifted, how do I put this page away? Just store it there. I can store things on my shelf. Okay. It's in this cupboard. Jars for weighing things. Okay. Should we explore a little? Interesting. I want an ossic ring. Ossic. That's a pleasing word to hold on the tongue. An ossic ring? Or an ossic ring? Somewhat macabre objects, originally made as offerings to the goddess Caution, but the practice fell out of favour as belief waned. They're hard to come across now, but they're occasionally sought out for the ability to keep vermin at bay. Some say they can hear Caution's unearthly hiss when they hold an ossic ring up to the ear. Okay. Hard to come across, sort out. Snakes. Hear the hiss when you hold the ring up to the ear, so that will be, when we're examining it, we must look for that. Now, this is a ring. Let's have a look. A gold ring. But I think it's actually the hand. So the ring is on a sort of cadaver hand, so that could perhaps be that we're selling a whole hand rather than just a ring. What about this? This looks kind of serpenty. Examining. Does any of this look... I wonder if this plant pot is a reference to the previous game. Don't see a ring. Is there a picture of it in the book? There's not particularly. Maybe it's not a literal ring, but something circular instead. Nothing to remark. So at the moment I'm picking up all of the objects and I'm using my ability for scent and sound. And as I pick up this one, you can hear that as we listen to it. A soft sound like a serpent's whisper emanates from within. And that must be an ossic ring. As we label and give it to the man. Made of bone satisfies the description of macabre. Closer inspection confirms a hissing noise can indeed be heard. And we unlocked the page for an evocant. The behavior of these ravens is disturbing, to say the least. As a rule, they only come together to feed. Ravens are omnivores, carrion eaters mostly, but they'll take anything they can get their talons into. And they'll kill if necessary. I didn't plan on dropping in today, but there's something happening out there and I'd like to know what. A voice of Senunos might help put me at ease, or it might do the opposite. Voice of Canunos. The name Voice of Senunos is used to refer to any bronze talk that has certain imbued properties. With skill, such an item can be used to read the patterns of nature that are otherwise hidden to us. Do you believe in patterns being in, signs? Swing away. Do you believe there are signs from the universe in the world? Can you read the patterns? Can you see things coming? I often think any sort of inclination like that, almost like, if people have a touch to them, or think things are coming, or be like, oh, I thought this would happen, or can get a sense of stuff, rather than it being like a psychic ability. I feel like even with science, as they say, all things can be explained, even though they seem to us to almost be like magic, or something of a supernatural nature. It could just be that those people have a perception that they're unaware of actually divining patterns and seeing what's coming. A pagan god of the forest and nature, typically depicted as a man with the antlers of a stag and often wearing or holding a torque. So, looking for something that resembles this little goblin man with stag antlers, holding a snake, and a torque, which seems to be like a staff with a circle ring in. And it's bronze. We did pick something up that's bronze before. Let's go ahead and examine our items here. So we know that that is bronze. Wait, not this. This is gold. This is bronze. Right. With raised detailing, my heart feels lighter. What are our clues? A bronze torque with certain imbued properties. Okay, so then we find what a torque is. Ah, perhaps it's not what he's holding, it's what he's wearing. And he's wearing, we can see he's got like an upside down moon on his belt, or it could be the thing around his neck could be the torque, which could then lead us to this, which is made of bronze. I think it could be that. That matches what the person is wearing in the sketch. Guys, I'm doing so well. Are you proud of me? Got him. We unlocked the page for the spirit eye. I'm proud of you in the comments. Thank you very much. Because I'm proud of you too, you know. It's not been the easiest of years. It's been tough to make it this far, but you did. And if all you did was make it to this point in the year and not much else, that still has so much value. And you should be proud of yourself, just for being here. You've made it to the Burr months, the months of comfort, the months of rest, the months of hibernation. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself, giving yourself self-love. Put your hand to your chest and tell yourself that you're proud of you. You should be. And I am. As we end our first day, the black mare thundered through the icy rain, shining wet in the silver moonlight. Her cloaked rider was exhausted, cold, and soaked to the bone. He knew he would not survive the night if he did not reach Back Barrow. We're drawing a sigil with flame. Looks like shackles. An escaped prisoner ran northwest. He hid me in the first building he came to. Seemed to be piecing together a story at the same time. An escaped prisoner. We can look at it with a magnifying glass. In our drawer. Very well. How do we put this away? I put it into my drawer here. The archive. Oh, interesting. I've opened a compass and a map of Undermere. We discovered some papers in a desk drawer in the boatyard last night. The boatyard. Where's that? Look by the water. Perhaps. Are we allowed to click things? Can we go there? The boatyard. 8. The yard has seen better days. A mess of broken and rotten timber covers most of the outdoor space that isn't taken up by upturned boats slowly being claimed by the weeds. In the middle of all of this, a man looks up from repairing a small rowing boat. "You must be from Strange Antiquities," he says with a smile. He takes me into the dilapidated office where 2 metal buckets collect drips of brown water, and a thin window pane rattles with every footstep. He pulls a sheaf of brown papers out of a desk drawer and places them gently in my hands. So we got a sleep vessel and some other pages for the book. Apparently as an afterthought and somewhat reluctantly, the man gives me something else as I'm leaving. "I've no use for it," he says. "Don't even know what it's for." Goodness, that's loud. Item discovered. Okay, so interesting. Love that mechanic of us looking at our archives here. How did I open that? Oh, explore. We have an explore function unlocked now. And we can visit places. So when we get clues, we have to... Dude, this is like doing the coolest escape room or This is like such a neat way of being immersive with your puzzle. Like, we have that letter, and people might even miss that and not think, oh, let me find the boatyard, and miss out on having an item and some extra pages. And that's like just a very cool way of doing things. So let's put, actually, see what else we have. Reminder, I've stored a couple of items in the cellar of the wine merchant next door. EW. And there's even another item in this drawer. There's a couple of items in the drawer, actually. And a magnifying glass. All thormic objects produce a field of sorts. Although invisible to the naked eye, they can be observed by placing an object over a thormic lens. A divernic field pattern. Fields not fully understood despite attempts to study them over the years. Mysterious. I love this vibe, don't you? I find all this stuff very interesting. Okay, so actually this isn't a magnifying glass, it's actually a thing for a thermic field. The wine merchant next door. So if we look on here, we've got a key to the side. We can find Strange Antiquities is number 29. Number 29. Let's visit next door. The proprietor, a Mrs. Cranmore, begrudgingly grants me access to the cellar when I explain that I'm from Strange Antiquities next door.
Yes, well, take the lot of them out of here, would you? Can't say no to Eli after all he's done for me. I don't like the thought of those unnaturals in my cellar.
Items discovered. Alright, and then it's up to me to put them on our shelf. And with that, we begin our day. We also met the ornithologist, the 14th Lord of Gleaston Castle, a man of wealth and privilege like the 13 before him, a man who would be easy to despise as his father was, but he's well loved by those who know him. Now retired, a professor of ancient languages at the University of Cumbria, but his real passion is birds. His students learn to divert particularly dense lectures on Latin detention by asking about local owl species or by quizzing the professor on increasingly exotic bird calls. Edmund was only too happy to oblige, spending hours recounting stories of his adventures in Africa and New Zealand. New Zealand? Okay, let's begin our next day. It's unfortunately not raining today. It's a green-looking day out there. Ah, well, that's just perfect. Undermere fizzing with fear over these ravens, and the thaumaturge has left his apprentice in charge. Thaumaturge? Sorry, my dear, that was rude. Pay no attention to me. I'm an old lady who got out of the wrong side of the bed. These ravens have got under my skin is all. Please do let Eli know that I was looking for him next time you see him, and pass on my thanks for letting me borrow his copy of Hermetic Symbology. Okay. Like, I've definitely had moments of knowing stuff was going to happen. I've had dreams of things, all kinds of, like, odd experiences through life, honestly. Like, it's an incredibly odd experience to dream of something occurring and wake up to texts of someone telling you that thing has occurred. It's like, whoa. Hermetic Symbology by Quentin Holmes. No relation to Sherlock. There are 3 branches of thaumaturgy, each of it split into 2 disciplines represented by the following symbols: selenic, dradic, diurnic, noctic, mentic, wixic. Which means of the moon, of the earth, of the day, of the night, of the mind, of the body. So this is like a key for different symbols and elements and materials, weather, seasons, Wiccan. Okay, I guess let's put this book here, as we may need it. Things perhaps are going to become more complicated. I feel paralyzed. I've no job, no partner, no friends, no prospects. I heard a horned shackle might be the answer. Looking for a horned shackle for a young ginger. As we open our book of strange artifacts and thumb the page. Horned shackles used to bring about change in one's life, bestowing the ability to overcome personal demons. In use, the horns are rubbed between one's fingers, causing them to become worn smooth over the years. They can be worn as pendants, but are more commonly totems of some kind. So we're looking for perhaps a pendant, perhaps a totem, more commonly. An elaborate, horned shackle. The horns are rubbed between the fingers, so we're looking for something with horns that looks like it's been rubbed. Which may be this. We have a little totem. So it's made of bronze. Smooth. The rigid horns. A strong sense of being watched. What else here has horns? This is a totem, and perhaps these are worn. This part feels smooth. The rest is rough and pitted, so this totem has been rubbed excessively. Perhaps that could be it. Don't see anything else horned here. Wouldn't be this owl, would it? Polished. Hard and rough. I'm gonna go with my gut. That says it's this. The horned shackle. Les. This item has horns. Closer inspect reveals the horns have been worn smooth. Dude, I'm so smart, and I should just open a shop of strange things, you know? Every time someone comes in, I'll put on a disguise and play a different character, much like the customers who are coming in here, but in reverse. Ding dong, they come through the door. Hello, welcome to my shop. And I'm there in an old curly wig, and I've got big glasses on, and a little neckerchief, and a cardigan, and I'm sat huddled behind the thing.
What can I get for you, darling? Take a look at this Strange Antiquities.
Next day, same person comes in. Hello, governor, what can I get for you? And I'm there in a fat cap and a blazer. You know? It's $1 million idea. Let me label this as a horned... what was it? Horned something. I'll remember. Shackle. Horned shackle. My shop should be called the Horny Shackler. Oh look, we've got weighing scales. I guess some stuff will weigh more than others, as is natural fluctuations, you know. Love your body. At least the weather's looking a little bit better out there today. A letter for you. Good day. You might be interested to hear that my plow overturned a strange-looking object yesterday. Come to the farm, and it's yours. For the right price, of course. Kind regards, John Royston. How do you close out an email? What's your go-to? Mine's either cheers or best, depending on who I'm emailing. I feel like kind regards and kindest regards is rather formal. Okay, to the farm. The Royston farm, if you will. As I look at my key, I see the Greywick farm. I see Jacob's Folly, and I see the Royston farm is number 30, and I head there. John grins as I struggle to hide my obvious interest in the item he shows me. Any hope he might not be fully aware of its value quickly evaporates, and after a lengthy negotiation, I reluctantly hand over the amount he originally asked for. Item discovered. I'm so good at my job, Eli's gonna be so happy with me. Now, how do I access that drawer to put this away? The archive. There we go. Notes that are done with. Hello. Little cat. So beautiful. Oh my god, the purring. That's the best sound in the world. This is healing. Let me turn it up for you. Isn't that good? Just let yourself sink into that. Let that heal you. Just imagine that in your lap or laying on your chest as you relax, in bed or on the sofa. So you just run your hand down the soft back of the cat and it purrs back in kind in response. That way you know it's so happy that it feels safe with you, that it loves you. Scientifically proven, stroking your pet will reduce your heart rate, your blood pressure, release stress, lower cortisol. If you don't have one, just picture yourself doing it right now. My favorite sound in the whole world. Cat purrs and rain. Jupiter, we meet again. Our paths crossed late last night on Princess Street. We shared a moment before he slunk off into the dark, on important business, no doubt. I wonder if you can help me. I'm visiting my grandmother later. I wanted to bring her something. She lives all alone on the edge of town, out on Clanbrook Road. I don't always manage to get out there as often as I'd like. I thought maybe a moon heart would bring her some comfort. A moon heart. Let me consult my book. Seems I don't have moon heart in my book. Now, what could that mean? Could that mean I've missed something? Let's look at heart chamber. Wouldn't be that. A moon heart. Could it be something with symbols then? In my hermetic symbology book, if we look through the pages for moon and heart, what's your level of spirituality? If you're comfortable sharing in the comments in a positive manner, feel free. If you are religious, spiritual, believe in the supernatural, how far does it go? Are you a star sign girly, a crystal girly? I feel like star signs are a lot of fun, and honestly I never see a video that's about the star signs that I don't agree with when I'm like, that's so me. In classic Leo fashion. It's all a bit of fun. Nothing in that book. Perhaps I have some pages hiding somewhere to discover what a moon heart is. Let's look in our drawer. We've met new people. I have a growing fear within me. I cannot let it take hold. So this maybe is my feeling, my emotions. We've got sort of a bar down here that we don't know what it does yet. I love that the game isn't, you know, taking 20 minutes to introduce everything to you. It's letting you find your way around. It's letting you stumble through. Discover what you need to. A moon heart. I mean, do I have anything that just screams moon heart at me when I look at it? Sure. So we certainly have completed the 2 letters that we have. We have places to explore. Don't know how I opened the drawer. Ah, there we go. I opened it. Okay. Perhaps there's something in here. So this is also done, and we can put that into our archive. A couple of items here. But no idea what they are. If I look at my explore... Oh wow, this is the same... You can go to the Strange Horticulture shop, number 2. The curious plant shop on the edge of town, a quiet haven away from the bustle of the centre. Ordinarily I'd be delighted to while away some time here, but I have important work to do. And yet an hour later I find myself leaving the shop with a potted palliance and a weight off my shoulders. I've been chatting with the proprietor about the similarities and differences between our 2 disciplines, with a gently purring hellball curled up in my lap. That was the cat's name from the first game. And we came home with a plant. How cute. I love that. That is wonderful. Okay. Anything on the map for in terms of... So it looks like we can just go where we want to and find items. Maybe the old jail? Oh, maybe we should follow along from this clue that we had. An escaped prisoner ran northwest. He hid me in the first building he came to. Ah, a clue. My dear Watson. So we find ourselves back at the map. Look, the old jail, number 10. Ran northwest, and the first building that they came to on Pine Road. The dilapidated warehouse is dark and imposing, and the struggling flame of my lantern does little to pierce its depths. I slowly search through its contents with a sense of despair, wondering if I'm even in the right place at all, when suddenly and unexpectedly I uncover something of value. More relieved than elated, I take the trinket back to the shop for further study and a warm drink. Interesting. A stone of some kind being held in the claw of a creature. But nothing on a moon heart. How then will I find out what the moon heart is? She lives alone on the edge of town on Clanbrook Road. Maybe a moon heart would bring her some comfort. Can I go to Clanbrook Road and ask her? She lives out on the edge of town on Clanbrook Road. Wasting my time. Oh, every time I'm exploring, that just did something to my, like, stamina level. Okay, I'm gonna hit the hint. I don't have an entry for Moonheart in my book, but what if I check the index in the back? There's an index in the back? Hold on. There's an index. I see. A moon heart is also known as a selenic totem. There we go. And that I have. It's right above sextum. These carved totems, more commonly known as moon hearts, can be imbued with a sentiment or feeling, such as love or joy, and held tightly to recall the same feeling. They sometimes feature crescent shapes, associated with both the selenic and Arctic disciplines. Indeed, the form of the item itself will often have a connection to either the moon or the night. Selune. join us. Okay, selenic and noctic. So we do have that in our Hermetic symbology book. Selenic is a triangle with a big circle and a little circle and a medium circle, and noctic is that. So now we're looking... Okay, so let's find what the selenic totem might be first. Carved totems known as moon hearts. And the picture is a tree against a moon with an owl on. We do have an owl, but it is not marked with anything. Let's see, does anything have that triangle on? There is a tree here. Quite literally a statue of a tree, but doesn't have those symbols. I feel like it would have those symbols, or why would it tell us about them? For the moon heart. Let's just double check. Noctic is a sort of diamond shaped with circles. These feel like pretty easy patterns to remember. So we must examine till something shows up. Unless it's as simple as the fact that it's this tree and there's a tree in the picture. But let's go through and examine each thing, unless it's in my drawer. No. It's not in our drawer. Doesn't quite appear to be anything that's on our shelf either. There is a locked cabinet that we can't get into yet, we don't have a key to, with a few items hidden behind. Can we like rotate this? Maybe it's on the back or the bottom? I'm overcome by a warm loving emotion. I feel like it could be this owl, but there's no symbol on it. Perhaps it's just... If there's no symbol on anything in here, then we'll go with the owl, I think. Carved totems, moon hearts. I mean, it's carved. Sometimes feature crescent shapes. That's the top of the owl. Associated with selenic and noctic disciplines. Connection to the moon or the night. I think it's the owl. It doesn't actually say that it'll have symbols on it. Nice, we worked it out. Well done. We unlocked new pages. The Holgen Grimm. Yes, wonderful. I will reward you with some purrs. Nice. So cute. Next. A friend of mine, a former friend I should say, has been stealing jewellery from me. 3 necklaces have gone missing over the past few weeks, including one that was a gift from my late grandmother. Do you have a suitable pendant that I could leave lying out for her to find that will teach her a lesson and make sure it never happens again? You're asking me to do some bad stuffs? I will need to make a choice here. There's no wrong answers, but my decision will no doubt affect the events in motion outside my shop. So it looks like here we have 2 tags which say a binding seed or Leah. Let's see what it says here. A binding seed. Made of 2 distinct materials representing the mentic and the wixic, the mind and the body. The winding path, the mind, described by a spiral encompassing the body, the seed. A binding seed is a form of punishment that amplifies feelings of guilt and shame. And then Aaliyah, which isn't in. Dust yourself off and try again. But maybe it's in our index. Leah? Because it's telling me that there are two things. Oh, Zia, it says. All about the neck to place them closer to the heart. Innocent-looking items instill a sense of fear and paranoia. Difficult to remove. Made of any single material except wood or clay. Typically have no symbol or other writing upon their surface. So it's whether we want to induce fear and paranoia or guilt and shame. I think we go with a binding seed that will induce them to feel guilt, and perhaps they will confess their sinning ways. So we're looking for something that is like a winding path, a spiral, representing the mentic and the wixic, which are in our book as this. A winding path. Let's have a look. A pendant that represents the mentic and the wixic. Bronze. Nothing to remark from a sense of touch. This is kind of windy. I don't like how this makes me feel, is the perception I'm getting from it. Which could be that it's making me feel guilty. So this is a stone with a spiral branch around it. And it seems to be the only thing that would resemble what we're looking for as far as I can see. Don't think it would be this. It has to be something spiraling and worn around the neck. Is this a binding seat I see before me? Made of wood and stone, and a spiral surrounding the seed. Okay, let me label this. I think I forgot to label some of the last ones I did, but that's okay. A binding seed, darling. There we go. I guess I could also, actually, whilst I'm labeling it, label it with the wixic and the wexic, or whatever it is, because I mean, I'm not going to remember what this is, actually, to be honest with you, but that would also then lead me to, if someone comes in and says I want something that is this, you know what I mean? I think putting the effort in now might save us the time later. So the wixic is this kite shape, upside down kite. They're actually both the kite, and it has both, so that should be easy to do and to label them with. If we go back to labeling and find the kite shape and label it. Oh, you can only label it with one. Oh, okay. Never mind then. They've found a man just now in that house where all the ravens were. I wish I hadn't seen, but I did. He was sheet white, but it was his eyes that are going to give me nightmares. All black they were. It's like he weren't there anymore. I don't need to wait around for another sign. I'm taking my family to Sedberg, and I'll be taking a labula to see us safely through. Oh, I suddenly thought labula was like a boat or something. You know, like how a gondola in Venice is, you know, I thought that's what a labula was, but he's actually asking me for a labubu from my store. Let's see what we've got for you, sir. A labula. Labula sounds like someone's drag name. Please welcome to the stage, Labula Labubu. Labulae are purported to offer reassurance in times of upheaval and change. They are not held in high regard by most scholars of the occult, That being said, an imbuement of wisdom shows that a labula is not merely decorative. There is power in symbology, as the old thaumaturges know well. Okay, so labula offers reassurance in times of upheaval and change. The picture we have is quite ornamental and reminds me of that bronze thing. An imbuement of wisdom shows that it's not merely decorative. So let's look at our symbol. Perhaps there is a symbol for wisdom. Okay, which is that. It looks kind of like a crown, which could be on something here, couldn't it? As this man is seeking a labubu. So let's look for the crown symbol on something. Ah, and this. It looks just like it, and looks like what is on the page as well. But is it labubu or is it lafufu? Let's find out. The item bears a symbol of wisdom. And we unlocked a witch's finger. So many pages we're unlocking. It's going to be a lot of items to collect and unlock as we finished our second day. Well done, everybody. A round of applause, a pat on the back, and a stroke of the hair and a kiss on the forehead for you. Well done. You've made it. And you should praise yourself in that way at the end of every day for making it to the end of it. Because it's difficult. It's okay that it's hard. Existence is difficult and sometimes a struggle, but tomorrow is a new day. Give yourself the chance of making it the best day. And getting through without pressures, without stresses. You are here to enjoy it the best that you can. Try to give grace and gratitude and show growth from today to tomorrow. Allow yourself that chance because everyone deserves it and you are not your worst mistakes. You are not the things that happened today, you are not the things that happened yesterday. Let tomorrow be a new dawn for you. And everything that comes after, this is your life to live. You're doing great, as long as you're doing your best. That's all anyone wants from you, that's all anyone can ask. And take a nice deep breath, and let the rest of this day go as we enter into a new one. Well done. A deep pain radiated down the side of the rider's head where he sliced himself with a diverging hook. His thoughts were scattered and torn. He could not see out of his left eye. So every day seems to be ending with the next sort of passage of someone's story. Perhaps the story of Eli as he rides somewhere, I'm not sure. And then we get another clue as we trace another flame, which this time looks like part of the map. So perhaps we have to find on the map what this is. The same shape. God, I went full meditation mode there. More meditations and affirmations available at downtosleeppodcast.com for all of your sleepy, comforting needs. That's me, baby. People have asked me to do that for years, so I finally did it. They're up on the shop. There's like, I'm doing them separate to the podcast itself. They're part of the podcast, but they're just on the shop as not to get too away from doing audiobooks. But some people have enjoyed them, but they're there for that have asked for them. So if you enjoy that, if you want me to whisper sweet nothings to you in an encouraging way, that is there for you. Got all kinds of themes. You are safe, you know, to keep you comfort in the dark. And I'm actually, the thing that the funny thing is people have asked for meditations for the longest time, but you know what the bestseller is? It's Your Vampire BF. And it's me as your vampire BF as you wake up in the night, comforting you back to sleep. So I think a part 2 of that is overdue. Let's look at our map and see if something is the same shape as the clue that we just got. Seems to be telling us right here, see? We can put it on our page. I love that. That is quality of life right there. To see. And there is some sort of compass clue down there. I wonder if that is telling us a direction at all. Of how it is orientated, that it might be leaning slightly to the right. It's almost like it resembles a key as the rain begins outside again. So if this is oriented, could that even be upside down? On the compass. Let me consult my compass where that dot is. Hang on. Okay, that doesn't correlate. That's fine. We shall look for a place that represents here. Oh, I think. Does it look like Hollowell Lane? Similar, but something like that. So we're looking across these parts of the map and seeing what matches up. We're almost gonna, I think we have to rotate it, you know, in our mind. Because the buildings all seem to be facing from left to right. So what's a skinny top is going to be the best thing to look for initially. This little skinny key top, I think. And see what matches up. Perhaps I should be a little more methodical to make sure I'm not looking in the same place every time. Doesn't look like it's Holbrook Road, or North Street, or Heath Lane. Does quite resemble Hollowell Lane to me, but perhaps isn't jutting out enough on this one. Having rotated it, that top seems to stick out a little bit more. It's not Ruskin Street or Stonewall Road, Fairfield Lane or Oak. Aha, hang on, these look like something. Guild Street. Could this actually be what would slip into the space, into the gap, into the part that is missing? It's obviously telling us that this would then be the building we have to click on. It's not Ferryman's Way, is it? Rather difficult. Is there more to the map that I'm not seeing if I click on it? Don't want to miss anything. And I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep 'cause I miss you, babe. People watching this series be like, and I don't want to miss a thing, 'cause even when I dream of you, I wake up in the morning and I watch from where I fell asleep, babe, 'cause I don't want to miss a thing. Where could you be, little map ski? You don't look like Mill Lane. You are confusing me. It's got to be one of these skinny ones. It's the only thing that makes sense. But it's got to be rotated. What's the thing here? That fattish squiggle that is jutting out must be... Can I rotate this? I can't rotate the actual thing. Can I? No. But it's definitely going to correlate to the map, I believe. Perhaps the compass clue at the bottom is just to tell us that it is the map. And it doesn't rotate. But perhaps there's a key that slides in on where it needs to be. That's very squiggly here. The Prince's Street is kind of similar, actually. Very similar indeed. I think it might be here. Top looks like a P. Jutting out. This one here. There is a narrow gap between the two houses, and I spy a small wooden chest wedged firmly inside. Slowly I manage to work it loose, and when it finally comes free, it shoots out onto the hard ground and snaps open, revealing its long hidden treasures. Perhaps it's time you snapped open and revealed your long hidden treasures, darling. What do you say? Okay, we've got 2 new items. Time to begin our day. Francesca Robertson with a scratch on her face. Good afternoon. No, morning. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. I'm Francesca Robertson, a doctor of sorts. I assume you heard about Mr. Hungerford. Seems to be the talk of the town lately. I'm used to dealing with maladies of an occult nature, but black eyes are certainly unusual. I've heard of something like this before, but I don't see how it could be the same thing. Either way, I'm hopeful an evocant will have some effect. Evo can't? There's no such thing. Only Evo can. We have a stone item that weighs the same as a man's heart. According to popular myth, the truth is a little less dramatic, but the weight of these items is nevertheless important and should not stray more than a hair from precisely 1 pound, placed on the chest of those in a coma to draw them out. So we're looking for a stone item, which we will then weigh with our scales to make sure that it weighs exactly 1 pound. What about this? This is made of stone. I shall weigh it. Put it on the scales. And then in here we have a 1 pound weight. And it seems to match up perfectly. Made of stone, weighs 1 pound. I'm a genius. We got a new page for something called a datalus link. I like the word datalus. Datalus. Temperance Parker. I had a quiet chat with Edmund Bishop in the Guilty Ram last night. He's always got an interesting story to tell, but last night he was different. Sorry, just thinking about the Guilty Ram and how that might refer to something. I can tell he's worried, which has got me worried too. I know it's not much, but I'd like a shield charm all the same. So what you're saying is it's the morning after a Guilty Ram. Got it. A shield charm. Let me consult my book, dear. A shield charm. Generic charms of protection have little to offer the skilled thaumaturge, but can often have small effects. An oshadic spirit or a wandering shroud will not abide them. Such charms make use of the art of symbology, an ancient and some would say primitive component of thaumaturgy, but they can be made from a variety of materials, though rarely precious metals. Okay, so we're looking for something that is not a precious metal. Uses the art of symbology and a generic charm of protection. So let's consult our other book. And oh, excuse me, open that back up. I'm enjoying this. Let me know if you're enjoying this and you'd like more games like this to fall asleep with, if this is helpful. I don't know if we've really done like a puzzly kind of narration game like this yet on the series. We've done Minecraft, Tiny Glade, you know, obviously those painting-like games, Town to City, stuff like that works well. Stardew, some classics. Done some, you know, wild card picks that I wanted to see how they went, like Oblivion. And some more coming up on this spooky season in terms of wild cards. But I feel like this is kind of suiting the vibe, so let me know if it's helping you relax, if it's good background noise, if it's helping you sleep, however you use this recording. If it's helping, maybe we can find more stuff like this. I have a similar one coming up soon, like this. But it's feeling pretty. I'm feeling pretty relaxed, so hopefully you are as well. Let's look for. Did they say protection? Okay, so that's the squares. We've definitely got some items with that on it. It's two squares, kind of overlapping, making a smaller square in the middle. You know, there's an interesting, if you picture two circles overlapping in this way, the space in the middle, if each circle represents A, how you sort of perceive yourself, and then B, the reality of it, the space in the middle is like your kind of stability and self-worth and a lot of like good things. And so the further those two things are from each other, kind of the more unhappy you can be. So it's your perception of self and what you want to be, and then like the reality, you know. Which is why some stuff can cause a dissonance if you think I'm a good person, I do good things, and that's your sort of overlap, and then it's no longer overlapping if you do a bad thing or someone says to you you're a bad person. It doesn't match up. And it makes you think, oh dear. As an example, darling. So we're looking for something with that. Squares overlapping, which is this. I found it because I'm a good little shopkeeper. 3 hours of being told you're a good little shopkeeper, ASMR. And I got an achievement for identifying 10 items. Let's label it. Dun, dun, dun. Shield charm. I'm actually so bad at labeling stuff in real life. I've been having a real clear out recently. Organizing things, going through boxes. I mean, I'm very, very busy. I focus on my work. I get really locked in. And then I'm suddenly like, oh no, this room's a mess. The kitchen's a mess or whatever. And so then it takes me forever to kind of have like a spring clean in October. But it's very, I'm not good at labeling. So I'll have stuff in a box and then I'll a year later find that box and I'm like, what the hell's in here? And then I'm like, oh, this is like a memory box. And this game's making me think maybe I should buy some labels and start labeling stuff. So we're all learning today that we have multitudes. Hey look, there's actually a sign of protection here on the shop. The desk in front of me has the protection charm on it. There's something I wanted to show you. I didn't like the look of it, so I left it where I found it. What if it's cursed? It was hanging behind an old shed, all overgrown with ivy. Let me draw a quick map for you. There. A quick map. Okay, so then I suppose I must compare said piece of paper. This again. You couldn't have just said where you found it? No? So you've got some trees and some little houses there. Looks like it's near a church. That's near a church with some trees, the Undermere Church, and the building on the left-hand side. There's a pond. There's the house. I believe that could be the one. The shed is actually a wooden summer house that looks out over the pond, but it's clear it hasn't been used in some time. Thick brambles claw their way up, and over one side of the structure an ivy covers the rest in mottled green cloak. I find what I'm looking for to the rear. Parts of the ivy have been torn away recently, revealing an amulet hanging from a rusted nail. Something else catches my eye as I reach for it, and I notice there is another pendant hanging next to it, almost completely hidden by the ivy. Couple of pendants. I mean, my garden's full of brambles at the moment because I just let the garden grow for the nature, as people know who have listened to previous episodes. It's getting to that time now where it might be time to cut it back. After the spring and the summer, in the autumn, before the winter, that's when you want to kind of do it, apparently. So says my gardening aunt. So I guess I'll get someone in to do that soon, but it grew berries and it has gone absolutely out of control. My garden definitely looks like a witch lives here, but that's okay. It's for the animals, and I hope they enjoyed it. And I don't care what everybody says, or the judgment. You know? You've probably fed and saved and comforted and homed many mice and bugs and all sorts. I mean, certainly when I go out there and I walk on the grass, like as I walk, so many bugs like disperse, spiders under my feet, you know, which is very spooky, but it's obviously working. It's all very important to the earth to have those out there. So many bees, which is something I've always wanted to keep on top of and have as much as possible. So some of my plants that are out there are very good for the bees and will attract them, which I posted on my story. I think I highlighted it in the ducks category on my Instagram if you want to see the bees going into the hibiscus. But yeah, but probably time to have a cut back. It's amazing how there used to be one bramble, right? And I had someone do the garden like the once a year kind of clean, because I'm not a gardener, and cut it back and the bushes and everything. And from that one bramble, I guess how this person did it just was not good and spread the seed everywhere. And now my garden is full of brambles after having just one big bramble, which probably started from a bird flying over and like dropping a seed or pooing a seed out. It's kind of amazing. Eli's picked a bad time to leave Undermere. I've come from the Hungerford house where I've been helping Dr. Robertson and looking for any clues about what happened there. Okay. There wasn't much to go on. I did find a shattered Ossic vessel, but whatever they did, this was no creeping dark. There was a strange black stain on the flagstone floor that I didn't like the look of. And the ravens, very unusual, but at least they seem to have dispersed. I don't know what to make of it. I'm going to take a trip to Gleaston Castle, see if Edmund Bishop can shed any light on their behaviour. First, I would like a vesiger, whatever this is. I don't want it spreading. Vesiger? I hardly know her. Let's see what we have. A vesiger can be used to prevent the spread of disease and pestilence. Among other oddities, flames burn pale blue in their presence. Interesting. So am I going to have to actually hold this near my candles and see if they change colour? Like Sting from The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings. A vesiger. And find... I can pick the candle up. Sorry for gasping, but that's so cool. And now I can just actually move the candle around the shop and find when things turn blue. That's awesome. Got it. What a cool feature. Oh, I love that so much. That gave me such a thrill. Vesiger. Let me know other games that are like this. Obviously Strange Horticulture, like I know that much, but other games that you would like to see similar to this, or any other games you'd like to see in this series, let me know. And books too. I'm thinking of going back to The Haunting of Hill House and finishing that. I did a couple of readings last year and then we kind of fell off from it for reasons, and I might go back to that and finish that one. But this is such a, like, spooky yet cozy, comforting vibe, which is exactly what I was hoping for from it. And I feel like there are probably other games like this. Maybe like mystery murder games or something. I don't know. Let me know. As we end another day. 2 days earlier, the rider and his fellow adventurer were deep underground, exploring the tunnels below the Kirkhead Tower, where they made a discovery. Their elation at their find would soon turn to horror. The Kirkhead Tower. Okay. Let me draw another thing here. It's a key. After a disagreement between two houses, I was buried behind lock and key. Okay, so we have a key. The key is the shape of something, and there is a heart shape in the key, and it's an indication to something on the map. I know there is something called lock on the map, so perhaps it's buried behind lock and key relates to the map with the lock house, which is number 7, which is here. So if you're buried behind lock and key, there's probably something else called key, which is 13 Keystone Manor. And if you're buried behind lock and key, then it would be this open space here, off of Clanbrook Road. A large flat slab of granite marks the otherwise empty field. It bears an inscription, Burr. On this spot, in the year 1813, Arthur Key did shoot and kill the beloved horse of Wellington Lock. Buried at the foot of the slab, I find an unlocked chest containing a handful of legal documents, as well as a pistol and another item that catches my attention. Item discovered. Okay. Guess we could organize our shop a little more here. Ho ho ho. Let's see, we've learned about some more characters. Francesca Robertson, the doctor. Growing up, Francesca's father was her hero. When he died suddenly and tragically in a mysterious incident, nobody seemed able or willing to give her the answers she demanded. She grew tired of being fed the same stories she knew could not be true. She entered adulthood, she learned how to find things out for herself, and what she learned opened her mind to a world she hadn't known existed. A world of occult maladies and dark articles. She learned about Tormund's paralysis, Hobbs' fear, and the Sapphire Curse. And she learned that these maladies could be cured. The good doctor. He lies back. Well, the shop is still standing. That's something. Say what you will about Undermere, but this town is never quiet for long. I leave for a few days, and suddenly everyone's talking about ravens and curses. I'm going to need to find Verona to get up to speed on what's going on. At least I didn't come away from Ravenglass empty-handed. I can always rely on Quiet Susan to unearth an interesting trinket or two. Is that, Lazy Susan's sister? Like, why is that called a Lazy Susan? You know, kind of offensive. I feel like the guy that made that, his wife was called Susan. She was always like, pass me this, pass me that on the table. He's like,
Right, I've had enough. I'm going to invent a table that spins so you can stop asking me for stuff. I'll call it a Lazy Susan, Susan.
what do you think? Seems like a real man move, doesn't it? Men, guys, men. Sorry, just stirring things up, keeping things interesting, you know. Above all, I'm not a good person. I'm pushing away the only people I care about. She's wearing the thing, the necklace. Help me do better, please. I have to change. I don't know how. What do you have that can help me banish my inner demons? Make the changes stick. She's wearing the thing that we sold to the girl that was being stolen from, so she's having these feelings of guilt. Which is pretty interesting, isn't it? So this is now her coming in, and we're seeing the result of it. I'm pushing away the only people I care about. Help me do better. Banish inner demons. Now, we did have something about banishing inner demons fairly early on, didn't we? Which I think... The inner demons... Was it the shadow hold? Contain an ossic spirit. It wasn't the shadow hold. Was it the ossic ring? Keep vermin at bay. Or maybe it was the ecumenical. Was it that I read and we never actually did one? No. We did read something about personal demons. The horned shackle. Overcome your personal demons. Okay, so... The horned shackle. Which was this. Hopefully that helps her. So as well as identifying, sometimes it seems like there'll be stuff like that where we have to also pick the right thing. The Evoken didn't snap Mr. Hungerford out of it, unfortunately. It's strange. At times he appears almost awake, but he's deep in some kind of trance and I can't get anything out of him. He seems to be searching for something. I'm beginning to suspect this is beyond my skill set, but I'm not willing to give up so easily. I know it's a bad idea, but I'm going to need a sleep vessel to get me through this week. Let me be your sleep vessel, baby. Down to Sleep Podcast.com. YouTube and everywhere you get podcasts. I am your sleep vessel. The 6 points of a sleep vessel are said to represent the 6 thormic disciplines. Selenic, Dradic, Noctic, Diurnic, Wixic, Mentic. They help people to stay awake beyond any natural limits by storing their fatigue. Well, sort of like a Dorian Gray portrait you keep in the attic, but for your sleep deprivation. Over time and repeated use, they become more and more difficult to handle, as though the undreamed nightmares within begin to seep out. So 6 points. A sleep vessel with 6 points that represent the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, that has 6 points, but it might not. Seems like it's got bits missing. What do we have that has 6 points? There seems to be missing gems, though. It only has 3 in there. 6 points. I feel like that may be it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anything with 6 points. Oh, hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A sense of crackling energy flickers in the depths of my mind. I don't think it's this. The only thing that stops me from immediately going to that is that it has these gems which aren't referred to, though it has 6. Would you say this is 6 points, or would you say it's actually 6 holes? Let's check our drawer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A darkness to it, as if it holds untold fears inside. Made of bronze. Can we examine this more closely? Use shift to bring up the magnifying glass. Okay. So we can take a closer look at things. Let's see. we can put things on these weights under my desk, which weighs them down. I wonder what the significance of that is. Do they belong there? All things to hang in the shelves. Bring those out of our... Leave that there for now. Something with 6 points, something with 6 points. A sleep vessel, a sleep vessel. Let me consult. It doesn't have a picture as the thing. 6 points of a sleep vessel represent the 6 disciplines. Selenic, Dradic, Noctic. Help people stay awake. They become more difficult to handle as the undreamed nightmares begin to seep out. Okay, let's go along. Nope, 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 nope. So we're between this, which has 6 points, and its perception is that it holds untold fear inside, a darkness to it. That could be the nightmares within. But why you would give a used one to someone, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got a little tree. Got a jar of some kind. That smells like rotten eggs. Now what are these? Let's see, we do have this that has 6 points. And a sense of crackling energy, and it's got the symbol for protection on it, and then the one in the middle. Let's see what that symbol means. It means insanity. Okay, I don't think it's that we want to give her. Has an energy about it. I mean, this has 6 points. And let's see what this symbol means. It's like an eye. Let's have a look if it correlates to anything. It doesn't. It's like an eye in a triangle with shining lines around it. And I'm surprised that doesn't seem to be in here. Unless I'm missing something. Let me just double check and go through again. Unless it's a combination of imbuements, the imbuement of foresight. And is there one that's lines? No, okay, so I don't think it's that. I mean, it's very light. I think that's the only thing we have that is 6 points, but let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And gems in each. I just feel like it would say something about the gems if it was the points, you know? I think this is our first little risk, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it holds fears inside, which would correlate with nightmares. Otherwise, I'm just not sure what we have that represents a sleep vessel. This looks kind of like a sleepy thing though, that's the only thing. Does it say anything about gems? The 6 points represent the disciplines. Help people stay awake. Contain nightmares. What about if those disciplines, do they relate to any kind of gem? If we learn about them. Like selenic is of the moon, of the earth, of the mind, of the body, of the night. I think we go with this one. Spent long enough. Identified. Sleep vessel, 6 points, and reveals a darkness inside. There we go. I just wanted to be sure. I unlocked a resonance compass. So let's mark this as a sleep vessel. Me. There we go. Done. Done and done, baby. Many years ago, I owned a silent breath, but it was already old when I inherited it, and its power died soon after. About time I replaced it. A silent breath. Do we have this? There are those that consider the white heart a prize to be claimed, but there is no glory to be had from killing a noble guardian of the forest. A silent breath contains a small token taken from a living white stag. While the stag lives, the item retains its power, allowing the bearer to sense danger before it arrives. A silent breath contains a small token from a living white stag. Right. Sense danger. Silent breath. I mean, we have a thing of a stag, but I don't think it contains anything. It's just a clay statue of a stag, perhaps a herring. Would a silent breath actually be? Ah, here we have a bottle filled with liquid, and inside is a white hair. It seems to make the hairs stand up on the back of my neck, similar to a spider sense or a sense of danger, you might say. I think we found it very quickly. Silent breath. Silent breath. A new novel from Agatha Christie. He stood at the end of the bed, his silent breaths like wisps on the air that reached my ears to awake me to find my killer. I've always wanted to try a datalus link. I have a personal interest in the celestial branch, so I'm not completely new to such things, nor am I ignorant of the risks. Now I have a good reason for it. I need to take care of some roof repairs, and this would seem the safest way to approach it. A datalus link, you say? Let me take a look at what I got for datalus link. Always makes the word Daedalus always reminds me of this old FMV game called Daedalus Encounter. It was on the Panasonic 3DO and perhaps on PC as well, but I don't remember. One of those games that has actual like people in it, like movie, you know. A Daedalus link is a powerful object capable of producing a levitation field. The field is extremely fragile, so it would be prudent not to take risks. These items are surprisingly light in weight. The designs vary, but they may point to some facet of flight, a feather or the wings of a bird or an insect, for example. A Daedalus link. A Daedalus link. Well, we have a bat, we have a bird. Anything with feathers, light as a feather, stiff as a board. Let's see if this makes us feel anything. Ooh, every sound becomes louder and clearer with the bat sigil. So that's probably for radar stuff. With sonar to like a bat hear your way around, or daredevil. Nothing remarkable about the raven. Feathers. This has feathers on it, but I have nothing to remark. A smell of rotten egg, cool and smooth to the touch. I feel like our inner perception would definitely be something about feeling light. Wait, didn't something say we felt lighter earlier when I examined it? Didn't it? And I thought it meant lighter as in emotion, but maybe it meant literally. Oh, my heart feels lighter. No, that won't be it. Okay. Right. Things that refer to flight. Surprisingly light in weight. Okay, maybe we can weigh it as well. Designs vary, but may point to a facet of flight. Okay, surprisingly light in weight. I mean, that's light. And it refers to flight. I'm not sure if anything else does particularly. That jar's heavy. Tree's heavy. Everything else is kind of heavy. Nothing else flighty over here. It must be this, which is very light. Just one last double check. Examining what we have. We know the bat's for sound. Must be this. A bird motif for connection to flight. Using my weighing scales, I confirm it is lightweight. Nice. I think I'm like perfect score so far, which is pretty nice.
The ravens are back, I see. Looks like it's going to be worse this time. After speaking to Verona, I've come to extend an open invitation to Gleaston Castle. My family's lived there for generations, and I know there are artifacts that would be of use to you, gathering dust in hidden corners. All I ask is you stay out of the south tower and the master bedroom. Run anything you find by me first, of course.
An invitation to Gleaston Castle. Wow, a whole new map to explore. And what did he say? Oh, stay out of the master bedroom? I'll be fine. Walk past the main staircase and turn left. Follow that corridor down to the end and through the door to the left. A small plinth in the corner of the room with an item on it you're welcome to. Walk past the main staircase. So, the ground floor. I'm assuming we enter through the grand hallway. Walk past the main staircase and turn left. Follow the corridor to the end and go through the door to the left. Nothing here. Need to exit the map if I want to explore. Oh. Well, let me see. Something to get you started, yes? Walk past the main staircase and turn left. Follow that corridor to the end. Ah. The door to the left. The plinth is not hard to spot in the corner of the room next to a small writing desk. A glass jar houses the object mentioned in Edmund's note. As I gather the item and turn to leave, my eye is drawn to a green book on the desk. The author's name is of particular interest. I pick it up and find Edmund on my way out, who encourages me to take it with me. I try to insist on paying for it at least, but he won't entertain the idea. A book on gemstones. A new book, and a new type of item. At the end of a long passageway, after days spent clearing away dangerous rockfalls, the duo came upon a chamber. In it, they found a small stone tomb, too small to contain human remains. A beloved pet, perhaps. Another part of the map. My chair's a little less creaky now because I actually tightened it up. I did man things with my man hands and an Allen key. I could probably oil it though. Okay, our clue is literally just a house shape to find on the map. Oh, it's actually a hole which we can trace over the map with that may actually line up with something. But where and why and how and now? Brown cow. So I'm assuming it's going to perhaps be the larger shape of things rather than the shape of the house itself, perhaps the shape of the square. But everything's quite tilted. It'd have to be something that matches up. As I move it around the map, there's really no indication other than the shape. It would perhaps have to be something that has a fairly straight line, so I'm unable to rotate this. Or am I looking for the shape itself? We must use the buttons on the left to change maps, unless it could be the shape of a room in the house and not on the map at all. I think that might just be the case. A portrait of some dead eyes, dead lord's eyes, me suspiciously as I enter the room and start absent-mindedly opening drawers. The room is cold and austere, and I'm about to leave when I spot a crate under the chest of drawers. This could be something. This could be the start of something. I found a new item, baby. Alright. The store is filling up quite nicely. Wouldn't you say so? Dear cat of mine. Right. Shall we begin? A new day dawns. Not sure about this fog today. It's an eerie atmosphere out there, especially with those damn ravens back again. It's usually fierce black dogs I have to worry about, not big black birds. Better off inside, I reckon. A letter. The triangle has intrigued me ever since I first heard about it as a young boy. What caused the pine trees to grow like that? Did someone plant them? I know you'll at least have heard of it, but did you know this? I calculated the exact center point and there's a small clearing there. Can't be a coincidence. What's more, there is a certain energy about it. Not entirely welcoming either. I wondered if you might take a look for yourself. Thomas Pope and Hamish. If you want me to hear me read books that are similar to this, I guess we've got Sherlock Holmes, Jekyll and Hyde, Picture of Dorian Gray, and if you're on the Patreon, Howl's Moving Castle. Could be similar, which used to be available for free, but YouTube removed it, unfortunately. If, you know, that didn't happen, all of my books would be available for free, at least in parts and passages, but unfortunately, it's not the case. So we're looking for the triangle on the map. Always been fascinated with the triangle. The trees. Why did they grow like that? A certain energy. Okay. A triangle with trees. I see. Here in Heathwood number 6, there is a triangle. Sure enough, as I approach the centre of the curious triangular copse at the heart of Heathwood, I come across a clearing. A tree that's been split in two stands in the centre. Sunlight breaks through and I take a deep breath of cleansing pine and earth. Almost immediately I'm struck by a sense of ominous power. My intuition tells me there is something unusual here at the heart of the wood. I examine the broken tree and notice some strange markings carved into the trunk. Heart beating faster, I spot something else embedded in the wood. 3 pendants, arranged in a triangle shape. So we have 3 new pendants for our shop, dear darling. And let's put that into our archive. I'm not trying to exit the game, I'm trying to open my archive. It's been many years since I performed the Rite of the Red Knives, but I can still remember every step. I'd do it one more time before I die if I could only get my hands on an orphered spire. I tried the place at Arnside and they sent me here. Alright, just making sure I put all of my stuff away that I've done. An orphered spire. During the Rite of the Red Knives, an orphered spire is fully submerged in goat's blood for 9 days and 9 nights. When performed correctly, the rite is said to impart vitality and clarity of thought, although perhaps not for the goat. An orphered spire. Submerged in goat's blood. In a picture, we just have a cauldron with something in it with 2 tips at the top. So we're looking for something with 2 horns at the top that imparts vitality and clarity of thought, but actually no other clue. Could it be this? Could it be these that are poking out of the top? There's a detailing on it. Let's see what that means in our book of symbols. It's kind of like... Picture the spirals. Picture that middle thing. It's like a diamond in the middle, sweeping things out. I don't know if there's anything like that in here. Diamond in the middle. They're not super elaborate what's in here actually. None of these match up. It's actually the symbol for soap apparently on materials. Truth, protection. Nope, okay. So it's just something, it's the only thing I have to go on. The Ritual of the Red Knives, and the only thing that I have to go on is this picture with 2 horns sticking out. The Rite of Red Knives, an orphered spire, submerged in goat's blood, vitality. Do we have a symbol for vitality? That might help. Weather? Seasons? Nope. Okay, what else has horns at the top? The owl. We know what the owl is. This also, which has protection, crackling energy. This has points at the top. And what did we work out that symbol means that's in the middle of it? does mean something. Insanity. Surrounded by protection. Rite of the Red Knives. Can we look up the Rite of the Red Knives? Or maybe in our new book of gemstones, is there anything that means vitality? Different gems with different meanings. This would allow us to work out what that other thing is, but nothing relating to this. Check the index. For either the Rite of the Red Knives or vitality, but nothing coming up. So we're left to choose between the thing that says insanity, the one that appears to be unknown. Looking, these seem to be the only things that could correlate to the picture, so I think we're just going to have to guess on this. That wasn't the item I'm looking for. I should slow down and think this through more carefully. Wait. What about this? Fills me with a sense of foreboding. This has horns. A dark blue-green gemstone. Dark blue-green is a stone of death and decay, not that. Okay. So it wasn't... What about this? Cold and smooth, nothing to remark. I'm going to ask for a hint. The sketch feels like a good starting point. An item with 2 points sticking up. Well, I worked that much out. Thanks for nothing. This is the only other thing that correlates then. I guess really, actually, this doesn't look like 2 points sticking up, does it? That's also wrong. I got 2 incorrect. My sanity's not looking good. I have a growing fear within me. Oh dear. Those were my only 2 things that I had as... I'd thought of as options. What else am I looking at? Hint. Goat's blood feels like a clue. It'd be hard to clean off. You gonna tell me that it's this? For goodness sake. A substance flakes off and leaves marks on my fingertips. Blood. Ridiculous. The 2 points of the item are visible in the sketch. I don't like that one. That made us get 2 wrong just because it's 2 points sticking up out of a cauldron in a sketch. That's ridiculous. Not a fan of that. I lost 2 lives. Just because of that silly description. I need to go away for a few days again. The Order of the Black Veil will have the information I'm looking for, said Eli White. They seek to understand the world beyond death, drinking an elixir that sinks in them into a deep trance. Can't read. If I'm right, they may be able to shed some light on these events. The only problem is I burned that bridge long ago. Hand me that guise of Lillian. Won't be the first time I've used one to get around their hatred. Guise of Lillian. Items allow the bearer to pass unrecognized. If used for any length of time, the wielder can begin to lose their sense of self. the remains of bygone creatures used in thaumaturgy for centuries, from petrified teeth and bones to trilobites, ammonites, and devil's toenails. A guise of lillian is one such item that makes use of this ancient source of power. Okay. Remains of bygone creatures. Teeth, bones, trilobites. Okay. So, perhaps this? A fossilized creature of some sort, on a stone. I notice a slight out-of-body feeling like my hands belong to somebody else. Must be it. What masks do you wear? How many hats do you put upon your head? Your sense of self? Next. Hello? Oh, is that a cat? My eyes have completely gone now, but it's good to know I still have my cat senses. I hope I'm in the right place. My daughter told me about a shop that specializes in unusual items. My life's joy has always been painting. Without that in my life, I'm afraid I'm a bit of a loss. I know I will never see again, but is there anything in your collection that might help me paint again? I feel foolish for asking. It seems such a small thing, but to me it means everything. So we have a choice between an Aries remnant and a spirit eye. The Aries remnant, objects induce a form of synesthesia. Colours, tones, light and shadow can be felt through touch, used by those who work in low light conditions such as miners. The gemstones in an Aries remnant are arranged in the shape of the constellation that shares its name. Or a spirit eye. Cheers. There are some who stay away from spirit eyes, believing them to be a window into a world that should not be seen, and others who deride their fear as nothing more than superstition. It's not clear what they do show. Another layer beneath the visible world, perhaps. A layer that requires something more than the traditional sense to experience. They draw their power from the opposing symbols inscribed upon them. I think an Aries remnant might perhaps be the right thing to go with. Gemstones arranged in the shape of the constellation that shares its name. So let's look for something with gemstones in an arrangement. And what might correlate here? That's just one big gemstone. That's one gemstone. Not that, not that, not that. Okay. Something with gemstones in it, in the shape of a constellation, which could be this, actually. That has a dark purple gemstone in it. And I think it's that, but it's upside down. It seems to be similar shape of constellation, which is like a straight line curving. I don't think anything else resembles what we're looking for. And nothing else even has any gemstones in it, so let's give that a go. So we can label this as an Aries Remanente. Okay, well done everyone. Clarence Hawker. Those ravens have done for 3 more poor buggers. 2 of them up at Calgarth and another fella, a fisherman. People are getting a bit panicky around here. Nothing natural about folk turning up with eyes all black like that. And now this fog too. With the night drawing in and me working late, I refuse to walk down Holbrook Road without so much as a lantern. I had something nice and bright in mind. A sunbond. The name's Bond. Sunbond. 007. License to pill vitamin D. A sunbond is small and lightweight, designed to be carried discreetly and made of a non-precious metal of some kind, housing a gemstone of light. Small, lightweight, gemstone of light, carrying the warmth and the light of the sun, a brightness that can pierce the darkest gloom. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are grey. Let's look for a gemstone of light, dear. Please don't take my blue skies away. Okay, the sunstone. Diurnic, amber, fire, light, heat, life. Looking for an amber gemstone. An orange gemstone in the middle of this. It feels a little warmer than I would expect. That could be it. But let's just have a little look and double check. I don't think there's anything else with that gemstone. This one has an orange gemstone too. And it's warm to the touch. How will we tell the difference? Sounds are muffled in its presence. Sorry, just had to answer the phone there quickly. So what were we doing? We were trying to tell the difference between the two golden gems and which one would be a sunstone. Small and lightweight, designed to be carried discreetly. Made of a non-precious metal housing a gemstone. Maybe that's our clue. This is made bronze, wood, gold. That's the clue. And this is just made of bronze, and it's very lightweight as well, I bet. Look. That one's a bit heavier and a bit more cumbersome. Sunbond. Sun. Lovely name, Sun. Reminds me of, Lost. Sun and Jin. Sunbond, was it called? There we go. Labeled and ready to go. Bend your ear to the trees. Hold your palm to the wind. The ravens can feel it. Can you? Something's stirring. I need a Holgengrim in the coming days. Holgengrim sounds like a Scandinavian detective show that will end up on Netflix in 3 years. Here in the land of Holgengrim, there has been a crime. Holgengrim. Eerie creations worn by priests of Holgar in various rituals relating to death and the afterlife. The sacrament to ask for protection, Wolfsong's truth to seek his judgment. I believe this could be this. Just gonna go with it. Nailed it. Holgengrim. If you could speak any language, what language would you want to speak? I feel like Japanese would be really good. Japanese, Korean, I'd definitely pick something over there. Let's label this as a Holgengrim. I do like German though, as well. As we end the day. Day 5. How many to go? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 days. I don't read Roman numerals, okay? Although growing up we had a Roman numeral clock, so that's why I even know any of them, to be honest. Inside was the reason they had toiled so hard. A small black casket. A very valuable small black casket. They knew enough to not open it, but perhaps too little to fully understand the danger it posed. So they found a small black casket in that small grave, and they knew not to open it, but not enough to understand the danger. Maybe this is the story of what happens before here, and like that this is why the ravens are here. It's kind of giving Dracula, actually, but it said that it wasn't big enough for humans. As we move to day 6. Our next clue is a staircase. Up the stairs, left, then left again. Second on the right is where I spend each night. Another clue, perhaps, for exploring Monsieur's house. Let's see. Up the stairs, left, then left again. So if you were to go up the stairs of the grand hallway, you would come up here, and if you went up the stairs, left, left again, left, up the stairs, it's got to be here, isn't it? Like, there's the master bedroom. Second on the right is where I spend each night. Up the stairs, you would assume, is talking about the stairs when you first come in the grand hallway. Up the stairs. Do we follow the corridor or take the first turn? Left. Left again. But then it doesn't make sense for second on the right. So let's try if you follow. Okay, master bedroom. Oh, this is a difficult one. Up the stairs. Maybe up the stairs, left, left, and then left again. Trying to work it out here on the map. Is there any other clue that we're missing here? It just says up the stairs, left, then left again, second on the right. What other stairways do we have? We have stairs to the vaults. There's a stairway here. There's actually quite a lot of stairways that go up into towers, which we can also click on. Oh dear. North is this way. Up the stairs, left and left again. Second on the... What if it's up the stairways, left, left? Second on the right. Could be this. Left, left, one, one. Scared to click because we've used quite a few already. But if you do go up, it's left, left, second on the right. Nothing there. So, okay, so our sanity, or whatever this is kind of reset. We get a couple of goes each time, by the looks of things. Okay. Trying to think what other stairs there could be. It could be up these stairs. Left, left, second on the right would be that, wouldn't it? If you went up these stairs here, you come out here. Left, left, second on the right. Got it. The bedroom looks like it hasn't been used for some time. A thin layer of dust coats the furnishings and cobwebs decorate every corner. Pulling back the thin curtains lets some light in, but more importantly they reveal a macabre item that's been hiding on the windowsill all this time. 2 fingers. Hashtag no context. Okay, pop that over there with the other spooky items, shall we? I can never get any peace in my house when am I to find time to do my writing. I've tried beeswax, but that makes my ears sore, and besides I can still hear the shouting and banging at all hours. The one that muffles sound? I heard you might be able to help me. St. John's Anvil. I think I already know that it's going to be that, but let's check. Items have much in common with the St. John's poppy plant of the same name, a fact that is reflected in the design. Quite different uses, however. The plant helps to overcome deafness. An anvil will dampen sound, tuned to filter out certain noises but allow others to be heard still. And so this one has the leaves on it, and we know from using our inner perception on it, that it muffles sounds. St. John's Anvil. Let's label it. You must be the thaumaturge's apprentice. I bet he's a hard man to work under. He's helped me out more than once in the past, though. Speaking of the past, my eye has been aching. Can't be a good sign. I'd be willing to make a fair trade for an Elverstone. You have one. Elverstone. Used to relieve the discomfort caused by otherwise incurable ailments such as Braxis or burning blood. The planetary metal used in these items is often associated with the selenic discipline, a connection that is reflected in their design. Okay, an Elverstone and the planetary metal associated with selenic. Selenic means of the moon. Okay. Planetary metal. Silver. So a silver something. That is reflected in their design also. So we have this with the moon on top. Which would be the most obvious one to reach for, I think. Big old moon, it's warm to the touch, made of gold and stone. Does anything else have a moon? This has a moon. Nothing to remark. Rough and gnarled branch. A yew branch with wood paint. Maybe it being yew is some kind of clue. Although it's an Elverstone. Made of silver. Maybe that's the clue. This is gold and stone. So we're actually looking for something silver. Okay. This is made of bronze. And has 2 moons. And this is moons made of silver. There you go. You may have spotted it before me. I was being a little bit blind there. We have a stone with 2 moons and a full circle moon. An Elverstone. Let's label it. And he gave us a New item. Our shelves are looking rather full, aren't they? Elverstone. If you opened a shop, what would you sell in your shop? Don't have to think about what it's worth, how much money you'd make, whether it's actually a good business idea or not. Just picture that you've got to sit all day in a shop selling things and talking about things and learning about things. What would you like it to be? Would you like it to be a plant shop? A strange antiquities shop? A game shop? A hobby shop? An art shop? What would you sell? And try to think about items rather than foodstuffs, because I've asked before what people would sell as a food of like bakery and stuff. And what do you think? I've been doing some reading. See what you make of this. Ambra. Items cause mental fog, a withering of intellect and thought. That fisherman they found yesterday had been up at Wyatt Beck. I'm going to see if I can find anything out there. Here I go again, sticking my nose into trouble, because I don't seem to be able to listen to that part of me that says, go put the kettle on, let someone else deal with it for a change. Bloody-minded arrogance to follow that thought up with, but there isn't anyone else. But here we are, and here I am. They'd do it all wrong anyway. Verona Green. I've been wearing a pendant I found in the library and it does something to me. It gives me an appetite for reading that I cannot control. I was lost in the library for 3 days without eating or sleeping before I managed to take the pendant off and escape. It is rather pretty though. Someone told me I need a Cusic purifier and that this is the place to get one. A small topaz gemstone known as the Eye, placed in a strong-smelling liquid, usually some potent barley spirit or vinegar. Small tokens, rings or amulets perhaps, submerged in the liquid and left for a full cycle of the moon, cleansed of simple imbued curses or hexes. Of course, there is a limit to the effectiveness of this process. A small topaz gemstone known as the Eye, in a strong-smelling liquid. So let's look up our topaz gemstone just to make sure we're looking at the right thing. Pale yellow, a stone of strength. In a liquid. A strong odor. When I shake it, it rattles, so it could be what's in here. What else do we have that contains liquid? Blue glass. Nothing to remark. I really think it is that, but we're just gonna make sure. Kind of have to guess that that's the gem that's in there being rattled around, don't we? You know that that's the deer piece. There's no other liquids on this side. No other containers. Cycle of the moon. Let's look up what that symbol means that's on it. It means, if we look up, vinegar, which is exactly what we're looking for. I've been working on something you might find interesting. Did you know nobody knows who built Strange Antiquities? It's very odd, old, perhaps the oldest building in Undermere according to some accounts. Even Eli doesn't know all its secrets. Been decoding a journal he found. Slow work, but I've made a bit of a breakthrough recently. Have you discovered the plinths below the counter? I've learned they can be used to access the shop's hidden depths. This journal holds some of the keys. Here's something I discovered late last night. See what you make of it. Horn, shackle, evocant, and then a moon something. The writing is dense and spidery. It's not always easy to decipher. So on the plinths, a horn shackle, the evocant. Which was the evocant now? We did write on it, did we not? None of these. The Elverstone, the ossic ring. The evocant. Did I not mark it? I thought I did. Let me see here now. Refresh our memory. The stone item that doesn't weigh more than 1 pound precisely. A stone item that weighs 1 pound. And which was that? Oof, this memory of mine, dear. Was it this? This is stone. And weighs 1 pound. I could have sworn I wrote on the evocant there. That's more. That's more. That we didn't have at the time. Was it the owl? No. Evocant. Evocant. Let's assume it's this. And then it said moon something. The writing is dense and spidery. Moon something. Could be a moonstone guardian. For the banishment of Hobbs' fear and noctic sight. The form of a comforting guardian. No. That. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. Oh, I lost a bit of life for no reason. A comforting guardian. For the banishment of fear and noctic sight. What could that be? Moonstone Guardian. We've opened up a secret compartment with new runes and some tankards in. Interesting. New items unlocked. Let's keep the new items where we can see them, shall we? After years of working in a thundering mill, I'm afraid I'm quite deaf now. He's going to need the bat thing. I've tried St. John's Poppy, but I'm looking for a more permanent solution. I'd love to be able to hear my niece's laughter. A hearing charm. Nailed it. Okay, let me label this hearing charm. And label the Moon Guardian and the Evocant. And we are sailing through to a new day. Day 6. At camp that night, one of the pair had awoken with pain in his left eye. He was alert to the threat at once, recognizing two things at the same time. 1. A part of his mind was not his own. 2. The casket wanted to be opened. Spooky. Perfect for us. Spooky season. The maiden in the tower points the way. I am buried among the trees. The maiden in the tower points the way. Let's see. We have towers here. Hardwick Tower. That doesn't sound like it has anything to do with the maiden, though. Tower. Town Hall. Ghoulfrey Tower. The Eye. The Museum of History. Maybe that one. What, number 22? I climb the narrow winding stair to the top of the tower, and am rewarded with views across Lake Undermere. I'm not alone in the tower. Standing in the centre of the circular platform is the statue of a young woman, the maiden. Her outstretched arm points due east across the rooftops of Undermere and beyond. Due east. So if this is the tower, and she points due east, buried among the trees that are due east, the mossy wood. I find what I'm looking for in a small cavity carved into a sturdy oak tree. I look around half expecting to see someone, but there is nobody there. I take my prize and leave, feeling my mood lifted by the smell of damp moss and the gentle rush of wind through treetops. New item.
I walked up the back a mile or so in the cold and wet yesterday, and found a selection with a handful of dead fish floating in it, belly up and blackened.
I'm not sure what to make of it, but I don't like it. Sorry, I actually wasn't going to do... I forgot I wasn't doing that voice, and then immediately I saw an old lady and I started doing it. I'm on my way to Calgarth Hall now. I spoke to Dr. Robertson earlier, and she said the 2 women they found are still in the same state as others, a trance. Before I go, Anne Bryant asked me to drop this off. A letter. It's just like a tick now whenever I see an old lady character comes out of me. When we were kids, we used to explore an abandoned house on the lakefront. We'd take a boat out to the northern tip of Naylor Island and row across from there. You know the one I'm talking about. Second from the left in the row of 4. Okay. I found myself outside its door 3 days ago, and I went inside for old time's sake. Wish I hadn't. Always had an ominous feel to it. It's taken me the last 3 days to summon the courage to write this letter. I think it's better you see for yourself what's out there. A northern tip of Naylor Island. Row across. Second from the left in a row of 4. Naylor Island, row across, second from the left in a row of 4. I don't know exactly what I was expecting to find. Anna's letter was vague after all, but I certainly wasn't prepared for this. In an alcove of the house, peering out through loose mortar and crumbling brick, is a macabre shrine of sorts. The skull of a stag is mounted above the opening, its antlers smeared with a dark red substance, and large melted candles pool out into the wooden floor on either side. In the center of the altar there is a small iron chest, rusted and fused to the floor. It's clear that it's been here for a long time. I do not see any hinge or keyhole or any way of opening it at all, but after a while, I notice an inscription that says simply, "I open to the voice. Well, open sesame, because if there's one thing you can say about me, it's that I'm the voice, baby. Let's go. Open up. Open to the voice. And we have to decide what goes in there to open it up. The voice. The voice. The voice of Sunnunos, the pagan god. Could that be it? And wasn't that this thing? I think. The chest opens to reveal a golden totem. I can't imagine who would have stashed it here or why, but it doesn't look like they're coming back anytime soon. A cat. A kitty. A kitten. I apologize if this inquisition is an imposition to your disposition. It is not my intention to bring your attention a matter of contention. I have an inclination to perform an incantation of flirtation for your part, a laden heart of the Thumeric heart. A lead heart, sorry. Laden.
Ledenhosen.
Laden heart. Depict the god Sunnunos in his non-human form, heavier than they look due to the core of lead, hidden by a more modest exterior, said to kindle romantic interest and given as wedding gifts. Depict the god Sunnunos in his non-human form, heavier than they look due to the core of lead. Okay. And it's Sunnunos in his non-human form. Which would be what? Non-human form. Well, let's go back to the voice of Sunnunos and see if there's any clue in there. A pagan god of forest and nature depicted as a man with antlers of a stag. So could it be that a stag is the actual thing? It seems weighty even though it's only made of clay. Weighs more than 2 pounds. I feel like that's the clue, is that because he usually has antlers, he's a stag when he's not in that form. Got him. Let's label this lead heart. Oh, you're not Eli. I'm returning an item he asked me to repair. The mechanism was mangled, but I've replaced all the springs and given it a clean, good as new. Item. So many items. Wasn't my intention to leave you unattended for this long, but I'm afraid I'm going to need to rely on you for a little longer. The Order of the Black Veil seemed more concerned by the ravens than the black-eyed state that Mr. Hungerford was found in. They said it would take a very powerful force indeed to upset them like that. Unfortunately, they either weren't able or weren't willing to talk any further on the subject. I was hoping to avoid it, but I must go to Oxford and the Bodleian Library. I'll be gone for a few days at least, perhaps longer, but you seem to be handling yourself well here. I do not see eye to eye with the head of collections at the Bodleian, but I do know he takes an interest in horticulture. I'll take him a Scythian charm to smooth him over. A charm? Taking a man flowers? Older Scythian charms are carved out of wood, but the more powerful designs make use of planetary metals. No two are identical. used by horticulturists to encourage stubborn plants to thrive. They change with the weather, usually quite cold, but warm and tingly to the touch while it's raining. It's raining right now. So we're looking for a Scythian charm that may be used, may be out of wood, might be out of planetary metal, and will feel warm and tingly to my touch. So let's see what we have here. Now it looks like these are actually just plants. So it's not those. I'm not sure if the picture is a clue or if it's just showing us a plant. No two are identical. Warm and tingly to the touch, so I think we're just gonna have to touch everything, unless it's this. Rough and gnarled. Okay. This was the voice. Smooth. Pitted. Polished. Rough and pitted. Warm. But is it tingly? That's the question. Warm and vibrating with energy. Made of gold. Cool. Raised details. Scythian charm. Sounds like something out of a fantasy series. Oh, you and your Scythian charm. Be away with you. Thou wouldst trick me with your Scythian charm. Why, yes, I would, princess, and though I am of Scythian descent. Oh, I never labelled this. This was the goat thing. I should have put a label on that one. I feel like it is that one that was tingling. Which was this one. It looks very plant-like. Ah, the other clue was that it's planetary metals. Got it. I'm at a loss with these patients. They aren't responding to anything I've tried so far. I haven't been able to find anything in the literature that fits their symptoms. I'm finding they become violent if they aren't restrained, and they are always trying to leave. If nothing else, Stranthium tea from a restful Mether might get a moment of lucidity out of them, but if you've got any ideas, I'm all ears. Patients that are becoming violent. We must pick between a restful Mether and a witch's finger. A Mether is a thaumaturge's link to the inner mind. A hot tea made from the Stranthium plant is drunk from them, taking on different properties depending on the type of Mether. This particular type can be used to enter a meditative state and bypass the rush and clutter of consciousness, promoting clarity of thought. A witch's finger, said to be the severed digits of the Witch of Undermere, capable of inflicting intense pain, but the goal is a purification of the body. A most unpleasant experience, but a last resort that has cured some and finished off others. Do we give her the finger or the Mether? I'm assuming the Mether is these that we have. These cups. A hot tea drunk from them. Different properties depending on the type of Mether. this type, which is we have two that fit that shape. Handle. This one. A restful meter. The other one sounded like a bit of a risk, didn't it? What's your go-to calm down drink? What are you having? What are you curling up with? I've come to thank you for sharing the wonder of the Ares remnant with me. It's changed my life. I'm still getting to grips with it, but I'm feeling my way back to painting again. Thank you. You didn't paint me a picture? The hell? Day 8. He knew what he had to do. Without hesitating, he took hold of his diverging hook and used it to cut away the infected part of his mind before it could spread and consume him entirely. You Scythians and your hooks, protecting your minds. Come, princess. I am closest to the sunset, but furthest from the sunrise. A new clue, closest to the sunset. It said something in the map here about sunset. Oh no, Mars in winter, rising in summer. Does that mean anything? Do we know anything about where the sun sets? If it rises in the east, but I mean, is this like Earth still? Closest to the sunset, but furthest from the sunrise. Closest to the sunset, furthest from the sunrise. That could be down here, right? Has this game mentioned the sunrise at all to us so far? Closest to the sunset, but furthest from the sunrise. That to me would say as far west as you can go. Lady Rosalind built the folly in memory of her husband, lost to the lake, or so the story goes. Now it stands, wind-worn and empty, overlooking the water. I check the turret just in case, nothing but dust and old bones. Love doesn't leave much behind. Nothing. If not, could it be Mars in winter, rising in the summer? I don't think it's part of the house, right? It's got to be part of here. Furthest west. Is it Naylor Island again? Or could it be east? Am I back to front? Let me see. The little Google. Where does the sun set? In the west. But the exact point shifts through the year. So closest to the sunset. The bleak stones stand in their circle in quiet defiance of time, once home to witchcraft and rituals, now abandoned, silent and still, like the surrounding lake. There's magic here, I can feel it, but nothing left for me to uncover. At least these aren't taking life from me. Okay, so only one more to try. A mistake. Okay, so that cost us a point. I am closest to the sunset, but furthest from the sunrise, and the clue is that it's a tower, so maybe it is the house, the building. Closest to the sunset. So we're looking for west. North is down, never eat shredded wheat. West tower, furthest away. The view from the tower is quite beautiful, but it's what I find inside that catches my attention. In the middle of the room is an unlocked wooden chest, and within that not one but two smaller wooden chests along with a cryptic scrap of paper. The paper says something something by a Dernic seal, object made from silver, something something a Dernic field. Okay. Are we to open these somehow? Or are these new objects for us? The field is with this, is it not? But using my magnifying glass on them doesn't seem to reveal anything. A Dernic seal, an object made of silver. Let's put these here for now. They seem to be objects. I wonder what these runes are we've been collecting. Found a button on the clock. Turns it to show the moon. Interesting. What other secrets are you hiding? What about this thing? Do we have anything that fits in here yet? Not yet. The flower. Wait, that fits perfectly. What do you mean? That is literally, there's a flower on this thing that I just opened up. And he gave this to me, and I put it in there. But it doesn't. No. No. You're telling me that's not exactly the shape of that. Interesting. Do we have anything else that we can stick in here that might do it? It's got to have some points underneath, it looks like, to be the right shape. No. I guess it's like that, but bigger. Stuff that sticks out at the bottom. Doesn't seem to be something we have yet. As if I didn't have enough on my plate right now, my sister Bonnie's been acting strange lately. She never got over the death of our father. She's always blamed Mr. Potter for a role in it. With all this happening, she's got it in her head he's behind it somehow. I'm worried she's going to do something stupid. If she comes in here, whatever you do, do not give her anything dangerous. I want to give her a keepsake, to let her know she's still loved. I've seen people gifting one another wooden totems, but I don't know what they're called. You want to give her a keepsake, a wooden totem. Nothing dangerous. Could it be the horned shackle that you desire? No. Okay. Go slow. A wooden totem. Keepsake. What else do we have? I mean, that is made of wood. This is made of bone. I just figured it was that, because I know for sure we've given a few of those out. We have the yew tree. I want to give her a keepsake. Could it be this moon guardian? Totem made of wood. Thank you. Unfortunately, I have some bad news to share. Jack Hungerford has not responded well to the Dranthium tea. If anything, he appears to have sunk deeper into the trance. I daren't try anything else in case I make things worse. So it probably should have been the witch's finger. Those silly sods at Calgarth Hall wouldn't let me in to look around. Seems I've upset the little lord who lives there at some point in the past. Allegedly, I refused to perform an exorcism on his haunted house. He didn't like my suggestion. It might be the local kids playing pranks on him because he's a mean old git. Not easily put off. Do you have a Tenebrin cloak I could use? Got some snooping to do. Tenebrin cloak. Enshrouds in darkness that will cloak all within its reach. A single stone set in bronze gives power to these totems. A single stone set in bronze. Bronze and a turquoise gemstone. Bronze and a green gemstone. Let's have a look at the gemstones. Green and turquoise. Stone of water, aquamarine. Stone of the earth and nature. Perhaps it would be a noctic for black smoke. Protection and enveloping night. Selenic, moonstone, pearly opalescent. That sounds like it. A light pink gemstone, but it's in gold, not bronze. The cat. Maybe it's this. Pink gemstone in bronze on stone. That could be one. Any others have single? We have here this. But it's in gold, a black gemstone. Okay. Tenebrin cloak. Create a sphere of darkness that will cloak all within its reach. A single stone set in bronze gives power to these totems. Enshrouding darkness. Darkness is the clue. Enveloping night, it's either the moonstone or it's the noctic stone for a stone of the night and darkness. Some fear it, some are seduced by it. Enveloping night is also darkness though. And this is a single stone in bronze. Got it. Labeled. Wonderful. I bumped into Eli at the station yesterday before he left for Oxford. His train was late, so we had a brief chat, and he suddenly remembered something he wanted to tell you. Told him I'd pass on the message. In other news, I've got a little something for you if you're interested. It's going to cost you, but it's worth it. A map of the catacombs. Very rare. Worth a lot, so I imagine to someone in your line of work. All I'm asking for in return is a Valant. I keep forgetting to mention it would be helpful for you to read Dr. Robertson's booklet on curses. Find it in the cupboard, hidden in the counter. Find it in the cupboard, hidden in the counter. The Valant. Let's do the Valant first. I feel like that's the thing that we push up out of the floor, isn't it? The holes in a Valant are of roughly equal size and spacing, used by the adventurers to help find their way. A curious pulse can be felt where its power concentrates. The holes in a Valant are of equal size and spacing. Could be this thing. Let's see if we feel any power. Let me touch it. Weathered. No. Stone. Rough and pitted. Vibrates with energy at the top. I feel like it's not going to have gems in it. Because it just says the holes in a Valant. Equal size and spacing. So those three in a line make the best fit. Labeled Valant. Map of the catacombs. Right. Interesting. Read Dr. Robertson's booklet on curses. Find it in the cupboard hidden in the counter. And we have a catacombs map from 1832 of all different graves. But how would you find how to open this? I feel like I'm going crazy here. I know who's behind this madness. All these people with the pitch black eyes. Nobody's listening to me. I've seen it happen before. 7 years ago my father died the same way. Since nobody will listen, I'll take care of it myself. A Corvin's Might, please. I'll be on my way. So we can choose to give her a Corvin's Might, which she's asking for, which is... sometimes called an eagle's gift, an assassin's tool that makes use of Wixic power. When the warrior queen Corvin was surrounded and close to defeat, a gift came to her from an unlikely source. With it, she turned the tide of battle, and the legend of the Bloody Queen was born. All Grey's Grace. A pendant to dispel melancholy, sharing the design of a shadow catcher. And the shadow catcher, did we do that already? It's the design on a shadow hold. Is the shadow catcher. Okay, so that's the shadow catcher design. And we're looking for what was it called? Grey's Grace. And all we have is it's a pendant that shares the design of the shadow catcher, so we may as well leave it open on the shadow hold page and compare. Yes. Okay, squiggly squiggles. squiggly Squigglesworth over here. So we can remind ourselves by looking at what the shadow catcher is. I believe. Is that the same as the shadow hold? Ah. So previously it was the box that has that design on. Is that right? It says box or container. Is that not quite what we gave her? Because this is a pendant and it has the exact same thing, but what did I give before when I was asked for that? Box or a container with it on? Oh yes, it was this bottle. That's right, that's the shadow hold, and this is Grace. Don't insult me, thaumaturge. This isn't some depression that can be cured with your trinkets. I will get hold of a Corvin's mind. So this is called Gray's Anatomy. As another day ends, halfway through. As his mind roiled in confusion, he watched through his remaining good eye, as his partner lunged toward the satchel that contained the casket. To his horror, he saw his partner's eyes were black. Clue. It's probably the shape of a tomb in the catacombs. If I were to hazard a guess, I think this will match a gravestone. Already seems to match that one in the top left quite well. It says 1688 upon it. Let us be sure. It also appears to have some notches at the bottom. Curl, indent, curl. Dink, dink, dink. 2 ridges there. Don't be so hasty, darling. Take your time. I'm between 2. One has the cut-in, a little more obvious. It's that curved top. I squeeze through a partially collapsed passageway and emerge in a small chamber, glinting in the flickering torchlight. I catch sight of a pendant draped across an old gravestone. Thank you for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed this one. There are some other videos on the screen if you want to go on another sleepy adventure with me right now. Please do like and subscribe for more like this. You are always welcome here. And until next time, remember, it'll all be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, it's not the end. Good night.